So I used to do a podcast where myself and my college roommate reviewed superhero movies, and it wasn't very good. Don't go check it out. It was called Silver Age Silver Screen. And anyway, uh, while I was working on that podcast, I made it clear constantly that I don't like Zack Snyder as a director. That I think he's a hack and a fraud. That I think a lot of his films are just terrible, terrible adaptations, including his adaptation of Watchmen. And I just, these past 2 days, reread all of Watchmen for a video I am working on. And as I finished rereading Watchmen, I was forced to acknowledge that, shit, I think Zack Snyder did one scene better than Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. Only that one specific scene. The rest of Watchmen's not that great of an adaptation, but actually, there is one small change in Zack Snyder's Watchmen adaptation. I think it came out in 2008. I need to bring a cut Pokemon back so I can get Suicune. Actually, could I just do that now? Um, so like in the Zack Snyder movie, at the end, Rorschach marches out. He's just so disgusted by everything that Adrian has done. He marches out into the snow, and Dr. Manhattan confronts him. And Dan walks out, and he watches as Rorschach is killed, and he screams, and he's horrified by it. And you know what? That's alright. That isn't what happens in the book. In the book, after Dan finds out that 3 million people have been mercilessly slaughtered by Adrian, his response is, "Oh God, this is so horrible." And also, it kind of turns me on. Hey, Lori, wanna go wanna go bang? Because New York just got nuked. All the people are dead, and I don't know why, but that makes me feel like having sex with you on this tiger or some fucking cat, was it a lion? I don't fucking know. On this rug, just in the middle of Adrian's house. And Lori's like, yeah, okay, sure. I am also going to respond to millions of people being murdered and this horrifying, horrible thing that has just happened by having sex with you, Dan. And they do that, and John watches, and he smiles. And, I mean, to avoid giving Zack Snyder too much credit, what happens after that kind of dumb scene is probably my favorite part in all of Watchmen. Just this only a few sentences exchange between Adrian Veidt, Ozymandias, and Dr. Manhattan, where Adrian asks, "What was I right in the end?" Because he's just murdered millions of people to try and stop a nuclear war, and he's like, "This is for the greater good." And he's like, "Was I right in the end?" And Dr. Manhattan bluntly says, "Nothing ever ends, Adrian. Nothing ever ends." Like, no, you weren't right in the end, because this isn't the end. You didn't put an end to the war. You didn't save humanity. You just delayed the apocalypse through slaughter and murder. And also, the reason that things were DEFCON 5 is because of you, Adrian. And I don't know if Watchmen is a book that has aged really well and gone better with time, or has aged horribly and is now kind of stupid because of this. But, like, the book takes place in 1985, and it's like, well, the nuclear war is about to begin. If someone doesn't do something, we're all gonna die. But, like, it's 2024 now. 1985 wasn't the end of the world. Like, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan is what almost triggers a nuclear war in that book, but sure didn't in real life. I'm not going for the items in Rural Islands right now because that would take forever. And I don't have time for that. Yes, but that one very slight change in Watchmen made it better. But also, while we're talking about changes I don't like in the film version of Watchmen, moving around my tabs because I was looking at the map as I did that. Oh, I can't get that item, but I want that item. I'll have to come back for it. Um, in the book Watchmen, when Rorschach loses his mind, like over this fucking 6-year-old girl brutally murdered, fed to dogs. He loses, after he sees that, he has a complete breakdown. He stops being Walter. He becomes Rorschach. His text boxes get all squiggly, and he is calm. He just calmly, calmly explains, "You are a monster, and I am going to murder you because what you have done is unforgivable. I am going to stare at this building as it burns down. And I shouldn't have used repel because I actually need to do an encounter in this because I don't have the balls to catch. Well, I mean, I have the fortitude and courage to catch Lugia, but feels like it goes against the spirit of a Nuzlocke, and I'd rather just get a horsey." But yeah, and in the Zack Snyder movie, they change it so Rorschach sees this horrifying thing, and then he screams angrily and brutally, angrily beats this man to get. No, you missed the fucking point. The point is that he isn't, like, angry. The point is that he is just so calm as he kills this man, because that's how dramatically he has changed. That he feels nothing as he is killing this man. Like, get in the ball, Cedra. Don't water gun me. I don't know. Zack Snyder's a hack and a fraud. And like the Watchmen film is like really interesting because it's 90% just a word for word adaptation of the book, so it's actually decent a lot of the time, but it just feels kind of awkward because like things don't translate that well from comic book to screen, and also it's just a whole mess. Anyway, what I named that Tyrogue after, Oregano Gremlin. You mentioned how Candy Dave's ending, becoming Davebot and needing to kill Dirk, is a tragic one for him because it means he's choosing his destiny. I agree. But I also think the comparison could be drawn between Candy Dave and Dave Sprite, like you talked about in your Dave's video. Yes, connect the Casey Jarms cinematic universe of video essays, and I'm gonna have to weaken this thing. Dave Sprite wasn't given the opportunity to be hero, instead being shoved into the background as a spare Dave, which helps set up the fight between Dave Sprite and Dave Petta Sprite in Word English as a satisfying conclusion to Dave Sprite's arc. I think Candy Dave is in a similar solution. Get in the fucking ball, Cedra. While he isn't completely shoved to the side like Dave Sprite is, he's trapped in the meaningless nonsense hellscape secondary timeline where nothing he does really matters. Even if he defeats Jane, as Al points out, nothing that really matters is allowed to happen in Candy. In my opinion, being able to choose peace for himself is an essential part of Dave's arc, and just being forcibly taken out of the conflict doesn't really work for him. I don't know if I think Davebot is going to kill Ultimate Dirk or not, but I think depending on how it's portrayed, it could work for his character. This is a Dave who had a peaceful life, sure, but one that kinda sucked. I think him sacrificing his peaceful ending to defeat Dirk and allow the other Daves, maybe the younger, happier Meat Dave, who hasn't fucked up his entire life yet, to secure a peaceful and happy ending could be satisfying if still tragic ending for his character. And I agree with that. I agree with Dave, that particular Dave, like, jumping back and being the hero again because he got his peace and he didn't like it and he's trying to find meaning. I think that's a really interesting idea for a character that, if well written, can be done really good. I will say, the other reason, not just because I don't want Dave to kill Dirk, because I think that would be really bad for Dave mentally, the other... Lugia has Hydro Pump, which means Golem would normally be my best counter for Lugia, but it has Hydro Pump. So I think I'm... And it has Aeroblast. So... Wait, you have no special defense. I think... How am I going to play this? My other thing is I don't think Dirk should be killed by Dave because that's what Dirk wants. And fuck Dirk. Do I have return? I don't have return. I don't have a solution to Lugia because I have to kill it. I feel obligated because it's a Nuzlocke. I feel obligated to kill Lugia. Oh, I got secret power. That's better than nothing. And I have healing items. Fuck it. Like, I don't want, Dirk to be killed by Dave, and part of the reason is because that's what Dirk wants. He wants to be this big villain who gets this final showdown, this showdown that was destined for Lord English, that's Dave's destiny. He wants to be that final villain, this ultimate evil who everyone respects, and I kind of think he should be dealt with like Caliborn, by being made irrelevant and treated like a joke, by having his victory snatched away from him and not even getting a satisfying conclusion. I want him to be defeated like Tarkin from Order of the Stick. Like, if you haven't read that comic, the main character, Ellen, his father is the main villain of one of the story arcs. He's this evil Darth Vader inspired general who is obsessed with storytelling and being this big storybook villain. And he thinks his son is the main hero because, I mean, he's... That cussing glitched out. Because, like, well, it's Tarkin's son. Ellen is Tarkin's son, which means he's the big hero because nothing less would be right for the son of such an intimidating villain. But actually, Tarkin's a side villain, and Ellen is a supporting character. The main hero is Roy. And Tarkin, like, how he's defeated is he isn't defeated. He doesn't have this big duel with his son. They just ditch him out in the desert and decide to never talk to him again because fuck him. That's what he wants. He wants to be treated like a real villain, and he isn't one. Let's see how this goes. Oh, this is gonna go bad. Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm going to... Lugia appears on B3F if the silver wing is in the bag. If defeated or run from, it respawns after entering the Hall of Fame. This is not me running away from a hard Pokemon who, if it used Hydro Pump, it would have killed Kenya. This is me making a tactical retreat where, boom, I don't want to fight your stupid Lugia. I'll fight it later. Yeah, I can come back later. I'm running away with my tail behind my I'm not going to lose my entire team on a fight I don't have to, that I can come back to later. Sorry, Komodo girls, I know you did this whole big religious, like, ritual to make Lugia appear, but, I'm running away because I'm scared. Let's see. I named that Seadra after Vixcal. I don't like Dirk's characterization, to be honest. Him mirroring Dave's arc fits perfect for Homestuck. Dave being destined to be a hero and rejecting it. I'm going to get some more balls. And Dirk, who is destined to be a villain and rejecting it, making Dirk a villain, is the antithesis of his character. I think Dirk had a satisfying ending in the original Homestuck, but also I'm okay, like, of all the characters to be brought back and have his arc undone. I think it works best with Dirk. Yeah. So that's my response to Vixcal. And I'm gonna catch more Pokemon in this episode than I expected to. Because I only had 2 comments prepared. Wait, who sells the Dusk Balls? I want Dusk Balls because Dusk Balls can be used better when you play at night, and I always play as night. Hold on, let me check out. I actually have an availability chart for this game. I can get a Goldeen in Tojo Falls. I can get Ponyta, Duduo, Chinchou, and Shelder, both on 27 and 28, and then Earthring and or Rhyhorn and Victory Road. Those are my options. So yeah, I can get a few more Pokemon, maybe all of those in this time. So yeah, getting back on track. I have been doing a ton of work on my video essay about uh, if Batman's a fascist, which contains an extended discussion about whether or not Rorschach from Watchmen is a fascist. And kinda, yeah. Like, not completely, but he's definitely more a fascist than he isn't a fascist. I'm trying to force myself to say fascist because every time I say the word fascist in a video, every time I say fascist in a video, I get people commenting, "Why the fuck do you say it? You're mispronouncing that." And I swear, it's pronounced fascist, isn't it? It's an Italian word, isn't it? Isn't it fascist? Am I wrong? Why can't I find dusk balls anywhere? If they're not on Blackthorn, I'll look it up and find them off screen. But yeah, like sometimes it's just blatant. Like where in the first issue, Adrian is like, Rorschach, the man was practically a fascist. He was just a proud man. He was just a patriot who loved his country. If he's a fascist, then so am I. And I mean, well, hey, you said it, not me. You're the one who said it. You're the one who said if the comedian is a fascist, then Rorschach is a fascist, and the comedian is a bit of a fascist. Although, actually, I would argue that I would argue that none of them perfectly fit the definitions of fascism, but they are both uncomfortably close as characters. Like, I don't think the comedian has any concrete ideology besides just liking killing, but of course, he was a big fan of brutality, hates all the same things fascists hate, so he attaches himself politically to Nixon, who wasn't a fascist but definitely had fascist undertones and does become more of that in the Watchmen universe. And like the thing about Rorschach is he reads the KKK newspaper. Like the newspaper that he's a huge fan of and says, "These people are our only hope to save humanity, which is why I'm giving them my journal." They go on extended discussions about how the KKK were good guys because they protected white America from the danger of, let me see, black people having rights. Like, no, Rorschach. These people are fucking monsters. These are neo-Nazis, Rorschach, who you hang out about. They keep going on rants about the Jews. Oh. So, like, Rorschach doesn't say that stuff, but he's perceptive to it, and he does go on an angry rant about liberals and intellectuals, and hey, you know who else I've read go on angry rants about liberals and intellectuals? Benito Mussolini. Like, so I think Rorschach's a bit of a fascist. I also got my Stone Ocean video written, yay! And I should get, like, my arbitrary word count that I hope. I'm trying 22,000 for this month for Vigilante / Justice is why I'm calling it. This book I am writing. I should have grabbed some netballs while I was there. This superhero book that I am writing that I don't know I don't know how to describe it. Point is, I'm writing it. Get in the ball, because I'm pretty sure this Goldeen is weak enough. I don't even want a Goldeen, but I'm obligated. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I do want a Goldeen, because my Wooper HM slave for water type moves I had to sacrifice mid-battle. And, you know, maybe I'll have to do that again. And I appear to have a nice volunteer for that. Because, like, Poliwrath is better than Seeking. Or not Seeking. Friend Mambo. What's Friend Mambo? I just did this one even though it wasn't a hearted comment because it was in front of me. Friend Mambo says, explain the ultimate self in a way that really made it click for me. My takes on the ultimate self and understanding that only clicked for me when I made that video on Homestuck 2, actually. Alright, trainer. Like, I only really put together, like, what Dave Petta was saying 8 years later when I made the video on Homestuck epilogues. Um, but yeah, I did explain it. The idea that it's basically everything. It's the character to the reader, where like the timeline where Vriska gets stabbed. I'm using Vriska because she's an example. The timeline where Vriska gets stabbed in the back by the Trezzy, and the timeline where she fights Jack Nor, and the post-retcon timeline, and like all of those contribute to who Vriska is as a person, how she is shaped in the reader's mind, and that's what an ultimate self is. All of those put together, you know, it's everything the reader knows being put together, and there's that return TM I was looking for. Hold on. There, a gift for to Kenya for not dying to, like, actually I'm pretty wait, isn't it in here? Wait, no, I thought it said 27. She said 37, and then I was like, wait, what do you mean it doesn't affect ground or rock or steel types? That's, I mean, steel and rock resist normal, but that's kind of a given. Whatever. Let's get one more encounter. Also, my Dave Strider video this last week, it finally reached 20,000 views, which was my arbitrary, I'm not fucking catching you because I killed your younger brother. Get the fuck out of my face. Okay. In defense of Homestuck's ending comment, I'm going to name a Pokemon after Gobbo Nation. That's a cool thing. No, I don't want Eradicate. But Gobbo Nation says, I mean, like, the ending may or may not be satisfying, but I feel like they gave the characters a little break from the strings pulling them, the narrative, and get to live their own life. And that's why I think it's satisfying that they're free from the strings of the narrative. That's why I like the Homestuck ending and made a video episode on it, an epilogue. I talked about it. Now give me my Ponyta and or Doduo, not you. I've already caught an Ekans. I don't want a snake. I want a Ponyta. Give me a pony. I'm a fucking stereotypical little girl, apparently, because I want a pony. No, I don't want a Wooper or a Quagsire, even if it has a good face and is a very funny Pokemon. So what's happening in my... There we go. So what's happening in my personal life? Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, and I was supposed to visit family, and then a tornado tore through my mother's hometown, and everyone in my family is fine, but like some childhood friends of her, their families were killed horribly. It was just a terrible, terrible strategy. Or tragedy, not fucking strategy. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm going to train up Gobbo Nation as my 6th, I think. Just this terrible tragedy in Greenfield. Like, absolutely horrible. And so they went up there to help out, and I just stayed home and I read Watchmen, which is my way of contributing. Yeah. I know this is an arbitrary endpoint, but I'm going to... I should have switched out. That was dumb. I'm going to get to Route 28, and then I'm going to end this. And then I gotta find where you get return, because isn't it at the Goldenrod department store? I'm not sure. Also, next week I've got a D&D story coming out. I use items in battle. I don't need Roost. Yes, go to sleep, Kenya. But no, Kenya was... Oh, wait, I got a bug type. But he doesn't have any bug moves. But he's got Aerial Ace. Yay. I should really delete Strength. Because, well... Wait, hold on. Does Golem know Strength? I could teach Golem Strength. Actually, I can just teach you Strength. But then I don't have my head... Whatever, I'll figure it out off screen. And you'll notice I trained up a Fortress, but I'm not really using it because Fortress, it gives me a Pokemon to switch to and tank a few hits while I heal up is its use. Like, it doesn't do a lot of damage, and like, Spike's chip damage is nice and competitive, but All of Lance's Pokemon are flying. Wait, I talked about this last time. I'm 9% sure. But yeah, I got another D&D story coming out. This one is about solving the trolley problem by getting run over by the trolley. And I think this current season of D&D stories, it is having a slow startup, but once it gets going, and I think in the fifth one, uh, once everything is set up and we start getting these big dramatic moments, it's gonna be a really good series. But it problem with this campaign is it's a lot of foreshadowing and setup and building characters before it gets really good. I don't know. Okay. And next season of D&D stories, because I base these off real D&D campaigns I do, the next season, which is going to be called Cold West, I'm almost done with that campaign, which is nice. And maybe I should just leave this here. No, because I won't remember that, so it's actually good if I get to a clear delineation point, which would be the start of Route 28. So let's just wake up my bird. Bird. Awakening. Crom, Robin, Sumia. Get it, because of like Fire Emblem. I'm awakening because I awakened. I used an awakening to awakening my bird. Like I used this awakening to make the bird wake up, and that is similar to the title of the game, Fire Emblem Awakening, which is called that because it begins, I guess, with Robin awakening, and also there's all this stuff about awakening the power of the Falcon to defeat Grima, who is like awakened, and the point is like that is awakening, and also what is awakening is the item that I use to make my bird awaken. So basically, they're both awaken, and it's a form of wordplay because they're both have the word awaken. Like, see, I'm not explaining this. So basically, the first thing I did was Kenya, my Fearow, who I got as a gift Pokemon. Kenya got put to sleep, and then I used the item Awakening, which is a battle item. It is a spray that awakens a Pokemon. So I used that, and it made Kenya wake up. And then I said Crom, Robin, Sumia, because those are characters. I don't know why I said Sumi instead of Lucina. I don't know. But those are characters from the video game released, I believe, in 2013, Fire Emblem Awakening, which was the 13th game in the Fire Emblem series, and was also an anniversary game that featured a bunch of callbacks to the original game, Shadow Dragon and the Sword of Light, and its sequel, Mystery of the Emblem, which were remade as Shadow Dragon and New Mystery of the the Fire Emblem, which very famously was not released in the United States for some reason that I'm not actually quite sure of. But anyway, Fire Emblem Awakening is called Awakening, which is an English word that means to awaken, and that is similar to the name of the item, Awakening, this blue spray item that I use to awaken my Dugong. Because, like, Fire Emblem Awakening, it is named Awakening, and the item is named Awakening. So, do you see what I am saying? That they both feature the word awakening. So thus, me referencing Fire Emblem Awakening when I awaken my Pokemon is a clever reference. And, okay, it's really complicated. I don't think I've got this... I don't think I've instilled this properly yet. The point is, they're both named Awakening, and they're both blue. Like, the 3DS logo for Awakening, do you know what color it is? It is blue. It is not green. It is not red. It is not purple. It is blue. And It's blue. Fire Emblem. Awakening. So, like, a few minutes ago, I realized I didn't have anything else to say, and then I made a bad joke, so I decided to just repeat the same exact bad joke for 3 minutes and over explain it, kind of like I'm doing now.